Submission Radio here with Iaquinta ahead of UFC 243 at Marvel Stadium here on Sunday in Melbourne. And Al, we want to start things off speaking about something very, very serious. What is this gluten-free pizza that Matt Serra is trying to chase down in Melbourne, and how do you feel being associated with this kind of food option area?
It's actually pretty good. I've tried it before.
Oh, no.
You're a fan.
Yeah, I mean, it's the healthy option, I guess. I'll always go for the healthy option as long as it's kind of like up there in taste, and it is. So it's a good option. It's not horrible. I'm not hating on it, but there is nothing like a good old slice of New York pizza.
You can't beat that. We were there last year, and we know that New York is the best. Also, you're looking very dapper today, and I know that you're just sweating all over the place. What?
Put me on the hot seat with these questions, and I had to use my brain. I wasn't planning on using my brain much today, so yeah, they got me thinking. You know, I don't know.
I gotta ask, why take this fight? Some fighters look at it and it's a huge long flight all the way to another country, to another continent. You leapt at the opportunity. You told us months ago, before the Cerrone fight, that you wanted to fight down here. What is it about here? Why did you want to fight here so badly?
Any excuse to see a new place, a new culture. I've been to Sydney, I've been to Byron Bay, I've been to Cairns, and I haven't been to Melbourne yet. And from what I've heard when I was here, they say it's a great sports city. And it looks like, from what I've seen since I've been here, 65,000 plus people. The people just walking around the city, people are knowledgeable of the sport. It's crazy that I'm halfway across the world and the people, know who I am, follow what I've done. I put a lot of work into this sport, so to see that, it really, it's awesome.
You've spoken to us about how much fun you had in Sydney, but what are a couple of things in Melbourne that you've had a chance to do, or even that you're planning on doing once this fight is over, to sort of make the most of your trip down here? Is there something that stands out? Are you going to be doing some graffiti down an alley? Is that what's coming up?
The graffiti here is sick. You can just walk around and it's like you're in an art gallery.
They encourage you. You can graffiti anywhere, cafes, whatever you want. That's the rule here.
Al was here with a Z.
I wouldn't be too good at it. I don't know. It would be like ruining good artwork if I tried to do something like that. They're artists, really. It's incredible what's been done. You can walk around and just be amazed forever. But no, I'm gonna go. I think go out to the bush, right, and check out some wildlife and stuff like that. I'm going to be here for a few days after, so hopefully I get to see some cool stuff. Maybe go to a beach down here. It's a little cooler, but it's starting to warm up.
Love a bit of Australian bush. I was going to ask, it wasn't that long ago you mentioned that. You weren't going to let me get away with it. I was going to say, you talked about the hard work that you put into this sport. And it wasn't that long ago that you and the UFC were kind of at odds. That was the big story sort of surrounding you. Did you, and obviously now things are a lot better, did you ever think that you would be co-main eventing in a stadium with, maybe 50 or 60,000 people? And what does that sort of mean to you?
Yeah, I remember watching Ronda and Holly, and they fought in a huge the stadium. Yeah, the same stadium, which was a huge stadium. I just remember them like walking for hours to get to the octagon. It was like, how long is this taking? And then just watching the crowd. They're so now they're more knowledgeable of the sport, and I just remember thinking, oh, that would be so cool to be a part of. So when this opportunity presented itself, I had to take it. Had to.
What do you think of Dan as an opponent? I mean, a lot of people haven't really spoken about the run that he's had in the division. We saw his heart against Edson Barbosa. He's had some big wins, obviously, some good finishes since he sort of moved in. What are your thoughts of his skill set and sort of the challenge that waits ahead of you on Sunday?
He's definitely he's a skilled opponent. He's put on a really great run at lightweight, aside from the Barbosa, and even that fight, I think he came away with the fans' respect because of how tough he fought. So I know that I have a hard fight in front of me, but I think that's what's going to make this win spectacular when I go out there and I put on a great performance on Sunday.
I've heard you say that after the last fight, the Cerrone fight, it was a little bit of a wake-up call for you. I think that led you to kind of adjust some things. I think you went as far as to say that it's going to kind of push you to be the fighter that you are sort of, transforming into and being. Talk to us about that. What did you mean by wake-up call?
I think things were just going really well. The Khabib fight was short notice, but I still came away kind of looking good after that fight in a lot of people's eyes. And then Kevin Lee fight, went really well. And I had been out for a while before that, 90-second knockout of Diego Sanchez. So I think things were really going good, and I kind of just expected to beat Cerrone, and I think just a little tune-up of the mindset, a little tune-up of the skill set, switch some things up. I think that just nothing huge, but just being in there with a veteran like that who's been in there for, I think I grew so much from that fight, and I think that's, I was beat up for a while after that fight, and I think that a lot of people that can kind of like break them, and it's either going to make them or break them, and I think that it's made me.
What do you think a win over Dan in a packed stadium here in Melbourne does for you when it comes to the division? There's so many fun fights. Obviously, a guy like Justin Gaethje, who was trying to call you out previously, is without a fight. You've got a whole bunch of people trying to figure out what's going to be happening with the title picture. Guys like Dustin Poirier coming off a loss against Khabib. Is there someone that you're sort of looking at as the next big fight if you get through this challenge on Sunday?
Not really. I think that those are all good fights. If I want to win this fight, I want to win it dominantly, put on a great performance. But we'll see how it goes. Justin Gaethje that's a fight that's going to happen eventually. It's got to happen. So we'll see how this goes on Sunday, and then revisit it after that.
Would you find it funny if it was the fight that he kind of wanted, but now that he's in this position in the division, would you find it funny that if he win on Sunday, he tries to avoid that fight in hopes of having like a Conor McGregor matchup or someone else because he knows the challenge that would be ahead of him against a guy like you?
Yeah, we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. Dan Hooker on Sunday, and then afterwards we'll figure that out.
We'll let you go in a moment. I was just wondering, obviously you went in there against Khabib on one day's notice. Conor McGregor went in there, got finished. Dustin Poirier got finished. Do you think, the way that these guys are getting finished, it kind of makes you look better by comparison? It kind of maybe opens people's eyes up to, just how well you did against, a guy, just how tough, Khabib is.
Yeah, no, I think that people are giving me credit for how I performed. Still wish I would have won that fight, but I think people are starting to realize how strong I am mentally. I think that both of those guys went into that fight with more than enough time to prepare. They knew they were going to go 5 rounds, and they had seen more of Khabib than I was able to see. So I don't know what their problem was. That it looked like they both lost mentally more than physically. I think that they have this skill set. Is what it is, but the mentality wasn't there, and I think that I can fix my skill set when I get the time to prepare, but my heart will always be there, and that's the reason that when I get that shot again, the result will be way different.
Just quickly, as we let you go, because it is Melbourne, what is your prediction for the main event between Israel Adesanya and Robert Whittaker? I know it's a tough one to predict. Who are you leaning towards?
I'm leaning towards Robert Whittaker. I think that his schedule of opponents has been tougher over a longer period of time, so I think that I think he's gonna get it done. But Israel's a sharpshooter, so I don't know. I could see something happening there, but it's gonna be a good fight.
Finally, as we wrap up, you had a crazy debut in Australia and Sydney all those years ago. Now you're in Melbourne, in front of a stadium. You're speaking about how you want to sort of make a statement against Dan. What can people expect when they watch this fight on a Sunday afternoon here in Melbourne and across the world?
I think it's just going to be everything I envisioned. It's a huge fight in front of a crazy Australian crowd. The fight starts at 9, 10 a.m. and I'm sure they're all going to be there, be a little sauced up and rowdy, nice and early, which is what I love about Australia. I love about the people here. It's going to be fun. I'm really looking forward to it.
This man gets it. He understands the Melbourne and the Australian crowd. Love the suit, Al. Thank you so much for your time. Good luck this weekend.
Appreciate it, fellas. Thank you.